going to start the Hemshech from last week. Just to go over in short, Mamash the Nikidis, which we said when we learned last week, is basically that there's three types of ways how ladies see. One is with her gosha, and that means if she feels when the blood comes out, all kind of what does she feel? That we spoke in length. What does it mean, her gosha? And that's the chalada is the raisa. She becomes a nida the raisa. The second is when she comes 100% from her body, but she didn't feel anything, so therefore the raisa it's not. But it is a ised rabbanon vadai. Third thing is the Indian of kesem. A kesem means she doesn't know even if it came from her. Might as well come from somewhere else, someplace else, something else. And that has halachas, how the big the size is, and that's also a drabanan. Once we ask because we don't have any way how to say that it is tur, it's vadai ochet also midrabanan, but it's midrabanan. And again, there's not a big difference between the draisa and the drabanan, because the Rabbon has the same arayve malai divrei sofram yoyse mayayin shel toira. The Rabbanon has the same choimer as if it is a draisa. That's what we mentioned. Then we said that there's such a thing as when a lady sees a riyah, there's three things that she has to choishish the next time. First, she has to see what day in the month she saw in the Jewish calendar. Ches chodesh, so then next month Ches chodesh she has to be choishish. Then if she sees already a second time, she has to calculate from the end of the riyah when she made hasik tahara, or whenever she knows that she knows for sure through a bedikah that she stopped bleeding till she gets the period the second time, and you calculate how many oines was between the two riyas. That means oines means a day, 24-hour day has two oines. You calculate it, and then next time when you see, you wait till you make the hefsik tahara, and you calculate again how many oines went through the clean oines was from the first to the second time, and you calculate the same thing. Let's say if it was 35 oines, then you calculate the second time after you make the hefsik tahara 35 oines, and that next oine you are going to be choishish. That's called vestafluga. Third thing is, it's called oina bainanis. That means, whenever you see, you count 30 days, and the 30th day, that is a Yom HaVest. It is a Yom HaVest. The difference between Yom HaFluga and Yom HaChodesh is, Yom HaFluga in Yom HaChodesh is only the oina you have to be choishish. Yeah, remember we said only that oina you have to be choishish. If she saw last time by Yom, she has to be choishish next time by Yom. If she saw last time by Lailu, she has to be choishish next time by Lailu. Except of a floga, you have to count. If it comes out, it could be once at night or once in the morning. But only that oina. That means only that. I won't say 12 hours, because as I mentioned, it goes from the Netzachama till the Shkia, and in winter it's much more than 12 hours, but that means only that period of time, which is called Yom, she has to be choishish. And if it's a oina bainanis, that is a chashash of the 30th day, and that goes a 24-hour cycle. According to most poskim, some poskim say it's also only half a day, and a lot of people in the world go with this poskim, but the Alter Rebbe is very strong about it, and a lot of poskim go with it. I would say today's day, most of the poskim go with it. It's a 24-hour cycle, and therefore, when it comes to oina bainanis, you are choishish 24 hours, and not only that oina. That was basically the Nikida which we spoke, and
24 hours the night before, 24 hours
from the 30th day, from the Shkia till the next day to the Shkia. That's the 24-hour day, and that means oina bainanis. And we explained why the Indian is that it is 24 hours, only the oina bainanis, and the other things are only 12 hours. And the Nikida was because the other two oin, that means vestafluga, the vest hachodesh, you look at that lady, when did she see, and you go according to the oina. And when it comes to oina bainanis, has nothing to do with her, it has to do with how the Rabban Shalom created a lady that she should see once, her period should come once in 30 days. So Chazal say once in 30 days, so if it's once in 30 days, or is the 30th day. It's a big, there's some kind of nafkimenes lalucha, but I don't want to get in, it's more in the lomdas. What we pasken is the Yom HaShloshim, a 30th day, and therefore we are choishes only the 30th day for 24 hours. The Welt, just at a side, take are oiche choishes, like the Chavazdat. Chavazdat says that Oina Bainis is the day number 31, not 30. So they keep both days, 30 and 31. But we go according to the Alter Rebbe, we only have to be choishes only the 30th day, and 31 is mutter. That's basically, in short, what we spoke last week. When it comes the Chiyom Achashash Ves, what do you need to do? Now let's go into the halachas. Last time we saw Ches, Taivas, it comes next month, Ches Shvat. What do you need to do? So, in Shulchan Aruch state that B'Yom, that day you mechiv to be poirish from your wife. Be poirish means physical relations, and that's according to halacha. A lot of poskim are machmar that you have to restrain from all kind of inyonim of chibah v'nishik, all kind of gili chibah. Anything which has to do with chibah, you shouldn't do that day of the Yom HaChodesh. Some poskim say it's Medina, and lamaisa, that's what we go according to halacha. We do that basically when it comes the day or the oina which you have to be choishes next time. We have to be choishes from Medina l'chol hadayas, from having relations, and from chibuk v'nishik also you should restrain, because always first of all chibuk v'nishik to bring to tashmish. And Bechlal, in today's day, is in the poskim Bechlal, whenever it's not allowed to have tashmish, stay away from chibur v'nishik, because, we are not that powerful in Zaman Shalish Tarkin, and in how we are, and whenever it's osir, so stay away from chibur v'nishik also. And some poskim say it's Medina. Okay. That's l'chol hadayis. Next thing what we need to do is, we have to make a bedika. We have to make a bedika that day or that oina. How many bikas do we have to make? I'm going to say what Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch says, in Siman Kif Paidal Tzif Tes, Shar Nushim Tzrichim Bedike Kisheyagia Havest. All other ladies which do not have a veskevia, Tzricha Bedike Kisheyagia Havest. The Lushan Tzricha Bedike, singular, that means you have to make one bedika. That's Pashtas Shulchan Aruch. You have to make one bedika. In Azay Zuk the Alter Rebbe al-Halucha. Alter Rebbe Zuk al-Halucha, you make one bedika on the day when we have a Chashash vest, and that's one time. The Rishonim, we see already you should make a lot of bedikas. Rasha, in Sefer HaPardes, Rasha made also Chitzun a Pirish on Torah, and Gemara, there's Chuvas from him, and there's also some kind of Sforim. One of the Sforim is called Sefer HaPardes Rasha. Over there Rasha says, Aloshen, bedekas atzmei tudir. You should constantly make bedikas. And therefore, a lot of poskim write that a day which is a chashash uvest, you should make 3 bedikas. 3 bedikas. Once in the morning, let's say if it's a chashash b'yoim, chashash oina is b'yoim. You make in the morning when you get up, you make one in the end of the day, you make one of the middle of the day. Now, the middle of the day, bedika, Hamashan Inzera Poskum eliminated. Because you have to understand, today's day, it is not a mile to make too much bedikas. Even though the Gemara says, as is a gewaltige mile, what's the Lushan that the Gemara says that as kalamarba, kalanushim amarba livdek is a mile, it's the Lushan the Arais Meshabachas. The Gemara says Arais Meshabachas. But boy, in the physical world, in our world, it is a problem to make 2 extra bedikas. Why? Very simple. We have sensitive bodies. Today's day, we have sensitive bodies. Most of the people go and shower every day. So the skin is very sensitive. So once you start making bedikas and bedikas, although our bedikas are very, very good today's day, once upon a time we did not have this kind of bedikas. Today's day it's real refined, real fine, real soft, but still it makes a lot of problems. So most of poskim say already in the middle of the bedika, take away. In the morning and at night, they still go make 2 bedikas in the morning and at night. But again, we take the Alter Rebbe's chimeres, we take the Alter Rebbe's kilas ochot, and the Alter Rebbe says that akaponim ba yoim chashash hafluga, oy chashash yoim hachodesh, which is a ves sha'ayna kavua, we should make 1 bedika. We don't make 2. When do we make it? We'll come in a minute. Aber akaponim, by these 2 ves sha'ayna kavis, you make 1 bedika. When it comes to oina beineness, over there already, ken shazan, amazal shiyom machen 2 bedikas if a person can, and that's the beginning of the oina and the end of the oina, which is basically in oina beineness is 24 hours, is the beginning of the day and the end of the day. Beginning of the beginning.
One after Shkia, one before Shkia.
No, one the end. What don't give me but end of the day. And 1 when the day becomes, when schulas hayoim, schulas haoina, schulas haoina, du sie pashtas und me can. But that's oina beineness. Now,
Could also be at night.
Okay, yeah. Whatever. When do you make the bedika? So you brought up a very good question. When do you make a bedika? Now, by Ves Sha'ayna Kiviyah, the Alter Rebbe writes clearly. When do you make the bedika? In Erhaltich, you only make 1 bedika. He says you make it at the time you saw last time. Last time the lady saw at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so it was Ches Taivas. Comes next month, Ches Shvat. She does not make any bedika before 4 o'clock in the afternoon. She makes the bedika 4 till the end of the day. Oder bezman 4 o'clock, or even later of the day, from 4 and weiter.
So if it's a Vesa Flag or a Vesa Chedesh and it's by night, and it's the middle of the night, the time that she saw. Let's say she was up 2 in the morning then. So now you don't have to, once the Eina finishes, you don't have to make a bedika anymore. So you have to get up in the middle of the night to make a bedika.
So it's so poskim ze zogen as before you go to sleep. Aber der Alter Rebbe kann man nicht der Alter Rebbe kann man es nicht zogen. Der Alter Rebbe kann man es nicht zogen. Alter Rebbe says that you have to make at the time when she had got last time. And as explained last week, what's the svura? Because when you count on this lady, how does she see? We look at her, and since last time she saw it at 4, we say that the 4 o'clock is his goyim, so you cannot make a bedika before 4. The answer is, you make it when you get up. You make even when you pass the oina. Even the past oina. Now, let me start with Chalunkim, weil Chotschik begeit unkimen as past oina, you don't need to make a bedika, aber du is the zach am macht a bedika. So again, I'm noch a minute unkimen today pratochet. So I can put him like this. She has to make the bedika after she saw it last time. Last time she saw it at 4, she's going to make it from 4 till the end of the day. She cannot make the bedika before 4 because 4 o'clock is the goyram, and you make it afterwards. If it's at night, as the Moshe brought up, you could make it in the morning. That's by Yom HaChodesh, and that's by Oina Vestafluga. When it comes to Oina Beineness, there is basically not a clear cloth in this Indian, but from my Lanias Dati is clear, according to the Alter Rebbe, that you have to make it the last couple of minutes of the day. Now the Alter Rebbe writes by Yom Vest Kavua Zukter Klur that you have to make it the end of the day, and the Svur is Poshet. The Poskim Zung Favus, why do you have to make it the end of the day? Like the Chacham Tzvi says, I don't understand. If she saw last time, 4 o'clock, you say. Yeah? So you're going to say that she should see next time also 4 o'clock. Maybe she's going to see 5 o'clock. Maybe she's going to see 6 o'clock. The Shkia is 8 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, if you made a bedika 4 o'clock, because last time she saw 4 o'clock, but you're not looking when she's going to see Matzad, her goyrim. We are choishesh of Chav, a lady in the 30th day, she sees on the Yom HaShloshim. Now, it's not the guy when you saw. It's the guy when Afro Zayt, and the lady sees the 30th day. Some see it 3 o'clock in the morning, some see it 3 o'clock in the afternoon, some see 7 o'clock in the afternoon. So, what's the pshat of him that you say you make the bedika when she saw last time? There's no such thing. So, by Vest Kviyah, there's by Oina Beineness. By Oina Beineness. Is by Yom, jetzt also, by Vest Kviyah, Zug the alter Rebbe auch, das wir machen end of the day. When it comes to oine beinenis, it doesn't write. But since oine beinenis is the same as a veskvia, so therefore it has to be the same at the end of the day. It cannot be 4. In Kitzer Hilchas Tahara from Harav Heller writes also that all the bedikas has to be when the time when she saw last time. But if you go into a little bit into the sigya, which noch einmal, wir bin nicht gegen Rav Heller, but sim kwad burir is sim kamat nicht harish geschim sufik, as according to the alter of etliche reis already once in the Horus of Iram, there's no sufik for me that oine bainis has to be the end of the day. The end of the day means the end of the day. No, not that.
How many minutes before?
Oh, how much before? One before minute. Is how many groß machlokes achroinem? In some groß machlokes achroinem, bechlal oine bainis that you have to make the end of the day. When is the end of the day? So Puporuf, yeah, which is one of the biggest poskim in America doing in the States, gehalten the last 5 minutes before the shkia, something, not halb sich schon the shkia. And my brother says 5 minutes, was still 4 minutes, maybe she's going to see a minute in the last minute. So he says, you have to make it right after the shkia. Right after the shkia. Right after the shkia. What? Okay, okay. Aber in Poporuf ist eine Sache, which I feel it's a very emsdige Sache, because Ramai hat a starke Svura. The Knai Boys in Ramai Brandsver hat a starke Svura. It says, when are you going to say? 5 minutes? If you say that this lady could see Yom Shloishim, there's still 3 minutes till the Shkia. Maybe she's going to see the last minute. Maybe a minute before the Shkia. So therefore he wants to say, make it afterwards. Right after the oina. Okay. So Poporuf Tanat, misprobably, schreibt das nicht klar wegen den Kinder, but I would suggest, and I feel very strongly with it, if it's possible, that the Meyer sagt, you make one before, you won't make after, and Farkash also writes like that. Farkash writes, you make a bedike at the end of the day, and if it's possible, make a bedike afterwards too. That's Farkash, because Farkash is a Talmud for Meyer Brandsver. So he goes with that shitta. Lanias dati, I feel the most pragmatic zach was me kann machen is teen like Puporuf says. Make a bedike the last 2 minutes of the shkia. Leave it 2 minutes after the shkia. Leave it 2 minutes after the shkia. Is
like leave it like a
for 3-4 minutes. Leave it for 3-4 minutes. Leave it for 3-4 minutes. So then you covered all the wegen, because you made the last minute, but jede minute doch nur chash efsh darf man sehen. So then this is the best thing for only by oine beinenis. Only by oine beinenis. Now the only problem is leaving a bedike in the lady's body makes some kind of problems. So therefore I say you could use for this bedike baby oil. You put on the bedike baby oil, or she should put in herself baby oil, or there's another gel which you could buy in the New Square. What is it called? Not pharmacy. They have a health store, and they have one bedike, one lubrication, which is tested every time they bring it in for that company if it doesn't change the color of the bedike of the blood, and that you could use for this bedike. Since and then if you leave it, it's lubricated, there won't be any problems. Do not use KY bechlal at bedikas. Take it off the list. By bedikas, don't use bedikas that have KY on it, because KY you could have. I saw it for myself a couple of times. You take a bedika, has a drop of blood, and you could test it for yourself. Has a drop of blood if it's a bedika which has KY in it. After a couple of minutes or after half an hour, you're going to see the color becomes yellow, and sometimes it disappears at all. So KY is a thing which we could see the practice, and we tested it with a couple of rabbonim. It changes the color. So any bedika which you need to use, and you have to use some kind of lubrication, do not use.
It's good to know that if you ever get blood on something, pour KY in it.
Okay. So that's off. Vitamin E and that lubrication which I mentioned. Now, when you make a bedika shiva nekiyim the first 7 days, I don't recommend to do it like kitchila, because like kitchila you have to have a dry ed. So then, in that case, you're putting in the lady's body, she puts in this lubrication or the oil, and that will be fine for a bedika. She should put it in, let's say, half an hour before the bedika, or a half sick, or a bedika, whatever. It should be minimum a half an hour after she puts in any lubrication. But don't put it on the edge. If you have problems, then sometimes you could suggest also that, but speak to her off. But when it comes to this bedika on the binanis, it's permitted to take any lubrication, put it on, and leave it for 3-4 minutes in your body. So then you go through, you accomplish all the alle nyunen bis the mesider, because it has to be sekennishan as a kenna yotzan on the binanis in 4 o'clock in the afternoon, when maybe she's going to see 5, 6, 7 o'clock. And there's a lot of rayas that the alter Rebbe halt azoi.
And if you miss the whole shkia thing and you come a half an hour later, what do you do?
So now we're going to come to the next stage. The real world. Now in our Rachman, the bedik has to be a regular bedik as you do have siktara. The bedik has to be beoimek, bechoyrem, bezdukim, turning it around. A real bedika from all good sides. You cannot just make a kinuach. It has to be a bedika, bechoyrem, bezdukim. Now what happens? What?
Someone did like it says in Kitzur, did it after this man, did it 2 p.m. let's say, and then it came past the shkia. You tiny that he has.
I would say he should do it again. Yes, I would say he do it again. Was heißt gemacht kann bedika? Yeah. And Forkish macht a chilik zwischen einer Beinen ist mit Westkvier. He makes this chilik. Ein Arorim, sucht sie kennen seine dibes gerecht. You're saying a point. In der Nies dachte ich, das ist Pashtas Buris ist also. Ich kann nicht kashim sufig dem. Als a kapunem bei einer Beinen ist, you have to do it like this. But that's only bei einer Beinen ist. You have a chodesh, the West of Luga, then you could stay, you do it after the time when you saw it last time. What happens? What happens if you did not do it? What happens if you did not do it? Now, when it's a Yoma Vest, jest a chodesh, oi West of Luga, yeah? It's called Vesha Eine Kivia. She does not need to make any bedikas. It's over. She didn't see. She forgot to make a bedika. She does not have to make a bedika. Now you can understand what Ramoshe asked before. That if she saw last time at night, she has to be boidig at night. So in the middle of the night she should get up. So I said, do it in the morning. So he asked the question is, over a ves v'loy bodka. You're right, but since lekitchila can ich nicht over sein auf was Chazal gesagt, you have to make a bedika, and the only way how to do it, I'm in some scheiß in the front, she should get up. So therefore, man gesagt, kannst es machen in the morning. But mikradin over a ves v'loy bodka, you don't have to make a bedika. But the Achronim say that even though over a ves v'loy bodka Medina you don't make a bedika, the poskim trace day zogen, aber soll machen a bedika, and it's very, very, Git, you should do like that. Even though it's a Vesha Eine Kivia, you should make a bedika. Because you have to understand one thing. It's not enough to be correct, right. You have to be smart too. Whenever it comes to Indian investors, once it goes over the day which you saw last time, you have to be conscious. You have to have your eyes open. So nicht user, if she makes a bedika, then she's fine. But the tzaf goes off, whenever she feels something, she gets some kind of hergaishim, that she feels that the West might come, you have to be smart and don't go into, it's a danger zone. Because if Rahman is done, if you're going to see Dam, it's a tashmish, this Isserkuras. So therefore, always when it comes, always tashmish after the day which over avest veloy bot, always after the over avest, you shouldn't have tashmish before a bedika. You should make a bedika. Nicht eibiges michels. Du poskim say that it's michel to make a bedika, but akapuna afil there's halt, man darf nicht machen a bedika. It is advisable to make a bedika. So therefore, even though it's a yom achshash vest,
it's advisable after vest flog, because some people have a vest flog much longer than the Beilis and vest chedesh.
No.
Someone who has it usually sees every 6 weeks, let's say.
Okay.
So this advisable thing would be only after vest flog in the pashtas, right?
Only after her vest
flog.
Yeah.
The other two.
No. Only whenever she knows more or less what's going on with her, then she should basically watch out what's going on. That's going to be smart, exactly. So therefore, over a vest v'loy bodka mitzadadin oile beinen is, if you over a vest v'loy bodka, you're also to your baal. There's no such a thing. Even it went through another day, 24 hours. she's not tour for the husband if she didn't make a bedika. Now, what's happened if she made a shower in the meantime, if she washed herself? Kimt Abach and it says she washed herself already in the middle, she's Osir Labala. If you didn't make Oina Bainanis, and she washed herself, she cannot make a bedika, Osir Labala. We don't go with that Bach. We say whenever you remind yourself, you make a bedika. But gedenk, over Haves V'leibotke by after Oina Bainanis, she is Osir Labala. You have to ask her, and only then she's Materis. It's not enough that she didn't say that I got my period. You have to ask her, did you make a bedika? It was fine. If she says fine, then it's Mesider.
So only by a Flaga and a Chodesh, if it's over a Wostot, that you don't have to do it.
That's correct. Only by Vesha Eine Kiviyah. That's the Nekude. To remember it, anything which is Vesha Eine Kiviyah. Oina Bainis is considered, according to the Halacha, as a Ves Kavua. So therefore, by Ves Kavua, if there is a lady which has a Ves Kaviyah, which happens once in a blue moon, if she has a Ves Kaviyah, she will be also to her Baal till over a Ves V'leibotke. It's not like all other ladies. But Oina Bainis, we consider the same halacha as a ves kvua. So therefore, over a ves v'leibotke is a sirat shetiftek. You have to ask and make sure that she was clean. Yeah.
Say she checked the day late.
Okay.
She found something on the edge.
Okay.
So now what day are you keeping?
You keep the day when you found. You keep the day if you found. Yeah.
And the day before is considered as clean?
Nogmaal.
Chodesh was one of them on the ches.
Chodesh was on ches.
Checked on ches.
Yeah.
What happens with ches?
Is du halb sich as a sag as a day which goes through and you're not mavada that it's clean by bedika, wird es nicht ins battle. So for instance, a person made ches taivis she saw a bedika. She saw a period. Now she has to be choishish next time. Ches shvat. Went through ches shvat, she didn't see. She didn't make a bedika. So what's now? What's sie oike gewesen, hat sie nicht oike gewesen. So since she's not nicht mevade gewesen, alidai bedika, as she didn't see, ches will stay. That's the consequence of not making a bedika the same day, that at least that day doesn't come naked, because naked has to only be when you're boide gewesen, as mevade gewesen, it was clean.
She made it happen later on.
Then she's a Materis Lamala.
It won't be okay even if she did it a few hours later? Or
Even if she did it after day afterwards. So Ches, you don't have a bitter that Ches did not bring it. Yeah.
No, but what happens if the night Arla Tess, she did a bedika, it was clean, and then the next morning the period came, so then Ches was already is gone. So you're saying
She made a bedika.
even though she technically missed Ches.
No, this was the if she missed Ches, so you don't know
Even though
that.
the bedika didn't happen on the MFS, it still canceled out because she did it afterwards. It still canceled out Ches.
If she made the bedika and she didn't see, zot mavade gewesen, zot nicht gesehen. So that's okay. So
she sees it the next month of Ches. I mean, she wasn't Eiker Ches.
then she has number 2 Ches. Now she has to choishish.
Number 2 is a suffix. And then the next.
Maria is a suffix. She hat sich oike gewesen. As long as she nicht oike gewesen,
No, I'm asking, what about if now Ches Adar?
she's going to see another 2 times. She's going to have Kaviyah. Why?
Will become Kavur then.
He will come Kaviyah. Because as it's nicht oike, a vest which you didn't oike, then automatically becomes vest Kaviyah. If you went through.
You'll say it both ways because it's saying. Will you say also now that she has a pattern of 3?
She has a pan of 3, yeah.
Even though that she doesn't really know Ches.
But that's nicht oike gewesen. So, sagt noch dich Schash West.
So if someone, back to the thing of someone in the middle of the night, if they're making it in the morning, how would they could divest them?
Noch einmal?
If someone makes it in the morning, if someone had a vest plug in and the aim is by the night.
Yeah.
So 2 a.m. was supposed to make a bdika.
Yeah.
So he said they should make it in the morning.
Yeah.
Comes out they never could divest them. They were never able because they won't.
Verwus ist es oike gewesen.
Is it spot?
Sie hat Beuke, sie hat Beuke auf dem suche ich, wir bald in Samen nicht kann bereiten zu wissen, wenn, suche ich, als der Bedike von in der Früh, ist mir machsig, wo sie gewesen bei Nacht. Also ist es machsig.
Why can't you say the same after Shkia? Why can't you say the same hour after Shkia? It's Machzak or Same thing.
The mushel, just a second, a minute. The lucha is, do a lucha like this. Do a lucha let's go back to Oine Beinenis. Yeah? Let's go back to Oine Beinenis. Oine Beinenis, I said, has to be the end of the day. What's going to be, he brought up before, what's going to be if the end of the day, she did not make a bedika, but she made a bedika 2 o'clock in the morning, in the afternoon. 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah? She saw last times 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And as I mentioned before, you have to make a bedika at the end of the day. But what happens that she made the bedika 2 o'clock in not
On the same day before.
Now, zug the Pascha Mazoi. If went through the end of the day, over a vest veloy botke, is gesehen as is clean, then is it fine. Zug is okay. Zug is okay. Favus, weil sofgesof is du poisken, wo sie halten, als wie bald ist sich nur steigt nicht keine klare Sache. Legab der eine Beinen ist. Ich has nicht a ganze Svur in dem, as even though you made it before the time, which you saw it last time, aber wie bald sofgesof jene Tag, ist andere Wort, wo ist die Bedike? Man kann sagen, die Bedike is, it tells me that she didn't see, oder sie ist mich machzig, als sie ist betahare. Dus darf man wissen, das ist auch eine lomdische Sache. Sie mich machzig betahare? Oh. When you make a bedike, yeah, what is the bedike? Does the bedike tell me that she did not see? Or the bedike tells me that now she didn't see? Does the bedike say that Bechlal she didn't see? She didn't see. Bechlal, Klurus, she didn't see? Or no? Iets terwijl gemaakt de bedike, kom je mag zich weer betaharen, that's enough. Or the bedike has to tell me that she did not see no the binanis, then it doesn't help the bedike 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Because maybe she saw 3, maybe she's going to saw 4, maybe she's going to 5. But if the kid said what it is, ich darf machen a bedike, ich said, make a bedike, in bist mag sich betaharen, and that's enough, which some boys can hold. So they sagen, so therefore, oine beinis, if you made the bedike lift na hasman, which even you saw, but the evet is as you up na yoitze going. Now, not all the person go with this. Not all the persons go with this. Some persons say, no, I don't.
Say that even if she did the bdika in the beginning of the Navarone, this is also good.
Exactly. Favos, weil I only need that oine beinis, you should make a bedike, and was the Easter mag ze going betahar, it's enough. Ich sage, it's not like this. There's maybe a chayud, there's some other persons which go like this. Lamas, the chroim do not go with this cheshm. But we use it, when you do we use it, over a bezvelei vodka, and she cannot make a bedika. For instance, somebody has oine beinenis, the oine beinenis went through, and she cannot make a bedika, she got a makkah. She cannot make a bedika now. If she can make a bedika, you make a bedika, that will be fine. But if, basically, she cannot make a bedika for some any reason, so since sie do poisken, wie sie halten, als sie mir genig, she will machzik herself 1 minute in the Yom HaShloshim, hat sie sich machzik gewesen, basically, as she was clean, so I'm not going to say this lady basically is nicht tuher lebala. Is of them nitzman as ja. But the pshat is, sof kosof habe chashita was a halt that, you get it?
It was not okay, or it was okay if she did do it before?
But the evet, if she, over a bezvelei vodka, and she cannot make any more bedikas. If she can make a bedika, again, you always make the bedika afterwards, and that's fine.
If she can.
But it happens to be she cannot make a bedika afterwards. And it's meglich. How the only I could see it should be happen is she gets a makkah, and basically if she gets a makkah, she cannot be machzik if she is clean or not, because she has blood. So makkah is a moitzedam. So therefore we rely on the bedika which she did before 2 o'clock, or before in the morning, or even at night, according to the Alter Rebbe Shita that it's a 24-hour day, and that then we could rely on that too.
But I think his question was, is that what you have a vestis at night, and you don't do a bedika at night because it's at 2 in the morning. Then you do bedika at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And you see blood, which means, so now can you, because you didn't do the bedika the night before, do you take it the one the night before off the calendar because it's past? Or do we say we still keep the one from the night on the calendar and you want to have for the morning as well?
You make the bedika in the morning, and you didn't see the night before.
You didn't do a bedika.
You didn't a bedika. So as I mentioned before, a vest eine kavir wird nicht naked, does not get dissolved.
Even if you couldn't.
Even you couldn't do only when you make a bedika and you saw it was clean. That's the klal which I mentioned in the beginning today. If you did not make a bedika at the time and you didn't see that it's clean, does not get dissolved. So such a time, hast du kein Bereire, so it will not get dissolved. Exactly.
Will it become it sounds like you said before, it will become a less kavua?
If the third one
If it happens 3 times.
If it happens,
If 3
The
months
chashash-
she didn't check.
and she saw it, what do you
No, she
mean?
didn't see. She saw once. But
If she didn't see, she didn't see.
Also,
She didn't see. Aber es wird nicht schnecker. Es wird nicht, der Tug wird nicht schnecker. She had, yeah.
You're still counting as it happened on Ches also.
So you still count it on the ches, that's right. Nein, but if you didn't see it on the ches, you have it on the calendar on ches. But you cannot say it's a veskvier when before it's nicht gesehen. So you don't take it off from calendar. You don't take it off from the calendar. In terms of you have to be chayish next month again ches. Yeah, but you cannot say after 3 times when one time she did not see that should be a veskvier.
That's what I was trying to ask you, exactly that.
Now, just
So let me before we go, is it clear? Let's stay here.
Sein Fall,
That's what I was
Rabbi,
trying to ask.
after in sein Fall, the lady could do, if she saw it 2 o'clock in the morning, she could check before she goes to sleep. And then maybe would that help that she doesn't have to check the next month? Because she first checked during the night.
Okay. Some a lot of poiskens in the Gaba in the Beinen Vesta Chodesh mit Vesta Fluga, all of the poiskim say that you should make it night if you have a Vesta of in the Salayla. They say before you go to sleep.
But he said,
So,
after the nish.
The Alter Rebbe sucht am soll machen
So
beschans yeah.
would this should have helped that next
Yeah.
month she didn't need
Yeah. Well, we have to understand it's vests that are bunnen. In practice the vest eine kavia, you don't have to take all the chimnas. You have to take all the chimnas. So father, if you made, and that's why it's kedai to make before you go to sleep. As I mentioned before, you go to sleep in such a way, then you're on the safe side. So let's make it clear again. If it's a yoim achoidish or if it's a vesta fluga, if it's a oina, it's a oines halaylu, yeah. You make a bedike before you go to sleep, and you write on the post you say before you go to sleep. That's the bedike. Sikedai to make it in the morning too. Also, taket to levada zan. While the sofks of the Alter Rebbe held, you have to make a bedike afterwards, after the zman what you saw last time, and this time you were asleep. So mach kedai to machen in the free bedike or psishayach. That's by your machoidish, and that's by vest. Hafluga. If it's oines hayom, you make it after the time, after 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, whatever you saw last time. When it comes to oine bainenis, you make the bedike the last minute of the day or the last 2-3 minutes. Keep it for 2-3 minutes afterwards, and then you are safe and it's safe you're safe. If you forgot to make a bedike, pashtas hashichanurach oine bainenis, you have to make a bedike afterwards. There's no option out. There's no way out. And some poiskim, you have to make sure that you shouldn't wash yourself till you make a bedika. If you did wash yourself, you still could make a bedika. But other Vesta Chodesh mit Vesta Fluga, over a bezvelei bodka, you don't have to make a bedika. It's advisable to make a bedika. Just to sum it up. Is it clear?
What would be the best solution if not to do this kind of mochdachim? By
I feel that Meyer has a starker point. Then I would say even it should be right after the shkia. He wants to say, okay, he goes with tzeis. He wants to say right after tzeis. But right after the shkia should be fine. That because every minute of the day, Hostan Chal the Chashash, maybe it's still she'll see afterwards.
Just to clarify the point that you were saying before with the Einabeninus and there being a makkah. That's still assuming, though, that she made at least one bedika early. You mentioned how if she made it at 2
If she
o'clock,
make it, only if she make it early. She make a bedika. Then I want to take the poiskim, which say, but the Eivet, b'shachat chag, you could use that poiskim, which say that any time in the day, a bedika will be enough. That's a shillah which I wanted to make, because of course, how many poiskim how you can do it. So again,
and just to
we don't
clarify
see
what
to
clarify what he just asked, you're saying that if a person, for whatever reason, can't keep it in for 5 minutes, it's better to make the bedika for Einabeninus after. Right
after. That means right after the shkia. Yeah.
Even if you do it later, you're not losing anything out because Einabeninus doesn't stay anyway.
Einabeninus is
Never goes over.
that's right, and over a bezvelei bodka. That's right. So oibas nicht as an option. you should do it right afterwards. Why do I say then I should make basically that 3, 4, 5 minutes? Safka sof the alte, skimt aus in the alderem, maar dat maken safa oina. So safka sof, safa oina means safa oina. Now you could question like Rameyer says, safa oina does not mean safa oina the last minute, it means safa oina right after the oina. Me kennen so sagen. Aber es ist nicht pushed, in der Feller halt nicht so, in der Farkisch halt nicht so, es ist nicht so pushed durch die Schöne. So therefore, I want to be on the safe side. You should do 2-3 minutes.
I think the reason why you don't want to push it up too much is because the Bach says that if you take a shower,
Yeah, okay, so that's for sure. Don't push it off a long time.
Yeah,
but at least...
Someone knows they're not going to do the process, so what is the big deal if they do it a little time later? It's not fair.
Okay, let me go a bit later because the time is running. Just to clarify one more thing, there's such thing as vestadilig and vestasirik, and just to bring it up, you should know what it is, and it could happen. Baruch Hashem, again, we mentioned before that we have to raise the apps, and makes it a lot easier. But vestadilig means that last time she saw Aleph Tishra, next time she saw Beis Cheshm, next time she saw Gimel Kislev, next time she saw Dalet Taivas. So that's a pattern. It's a pattern Aleph, Beis, Gimel, Dalet. Of a Chodesh. So that's vestadilig. The same will be a fluga. One time, this time she saw a fluga of 30 days, 30 oinas, 31. What? Badilik you need 4. Yeah. Badilik? Yeah, by 3. Yeah.
Why is that a pattern?
But it's a pattern because Aleph...
Somebody died in 30 days. It's not as guaranteed.
No, it's not the days. It's the Chodesh, Yom HaChodesh, the sun. Aleph, Chodesh, Beis LeChodesh, Gimel LeChodesh. And by Flugis, there's also such a thing. 50 oinas, 51 oinas, 52 oinas, 53 oinas, 55 oinas. Also could be the same thing. So the same thing could be other thing, the other side. Yeah. Yeah, the same thing. High, Tishra, Dalet, Cheshm, anything which makes a pattern with Vastas, she has some kind of system, makes it a vest. Now the Protam, 4 times, 3 times, as Levi mentioned, I'm not going to go in, because once you're going to have this thing, come and ask, show the Leich, because it's a little bit confusing, but it's a Sache, was kann sich machen. Most of the things does not happen, doesn't stay. But if it happens, it happens. Veskevi is here to stay in a way, till you're not oiker. So therefore, you should know there's such a thing. That's vestadilig. Then there's vestasirik. Aleph Tishra, Aleph Kislev. Skip the month. Aleph Shvat, Aleph Nissen. So whenever she skips a month,
You mean that she didn't have anything?
Have anything.
She had another day.
Gunish. She didn't have. Yeah. Or Ochot, selbe Sache Ochot. Bei Yom HaChodesh, arbeitig. So therefore, met af die alle Sachen ausgeschbenen, is the apps geschbeten aus. If not, you have the calculator. That's why the apps are very good, because sometimes geschboines which, if you don't sit and look at a broader picture, you don't even have that might be some kind of pattern. So therefore, it's kedai to have the app. But I'm just bringing it to your attention, there is such a thing, and you should look out for such a thing if something starts to happen like this. If a person says just one wichtige halacha, person had the vest last time, Lamed lechodesh, yeah, and Yom HaChodesh is always the same chodesh as next time. Next month is no Lamed. What do you do then? Lamed lechodesh you saw, and next month is only 29 days. Now, some poskim say you have to be chodesh the last day of the month. Because last time you saw the last day of the month, now you say the last day of the month. That means choftes. Some poskim say, no. Last time you saw a day after choftes, so now you're going to see a day after choftes, which is Aleph. So you have to be chodesh Aleph. Tzemach Tzedek says, if such happens, such a time, you don't have to be chodesh. Yom HaChodesh is off. And some other poskim also say, but the Tzemach Tzedek goes with this. So by us, if you saw at Lamed, next chodesh you don't have a Lamed, this time one thing is off. Okay, so that's the Nikid. And another one more kid, just to bring it to the attention. There's such thing as vestakvitzes, and there's such thing as vest. If Achilles do v'chrifen, that means whenever she jumps, whenever she does exercise, whenever she does exercise, she gets a period. So this is also a thing which has a ramifications in halacha, which if it happens once or twice or 3 times, go to the Rav and tell him that such a thing happened because has ramifications of halacha. I'm not going to go into it. This is a lengthy inyonim, and most of the poskim did not write on this subject. All this kind of vests, in our book we wrote on Hilchas Nida, is basically we took all the issues which most poskim do not talk, and we dealt on that Nikidas, because after all, it happens to people, and some poskim say it doesn't happen, so I don't want to go into it, but it still happens. So somebody had to make some kind of handbook what you need to do. So that's why we dealt only with most of these things. But if you have this kind of things, look out and ask her off. Another thing could be also whenever she eats something sharp, yeah. Whenever she eats a pizza which has a lot of what is it called? Harif. Whenever she has, she gets a period, yeah. Or this kind of things. This has ramifications according to Allah. So therefore, go ask Arov all these things. What?
It happens.
It happens, yeah. It could happen, yeah. Okay, then there's another subject is when the people who get a heter from Rabbonim to take birth control. So then there's another thing. All halachas what goes on when it comes to birth control. Chshushes of vest, when to be choishes, when not. Also, asach halachas in the Gaya. I don't want to go into it now. Maybe if we're going to have time, maybe we're going to deal on it down the road. But akaponam, medaf wissen the halachas is not poshet. It's not poshet a person just one nikida. It's not poshet that when a lady basically first time takes pills, yeah, that all the vests fall away. That means she had a period on ches taivas, and she started the first time taking pills, and she's just sich schmachze gewesen that the pills work for her exactly how the company says, because not all the pills work for all the ladies. So therefore, she still has to be choishish on ches next month, because she has to be machzik 3 times that the pills work. That's all the halachas which are just throwing it in tiny. You should know that whenever it comes, because sometimes you don't even know that it's a shaila. So therefore, you should know if you have a hatter from a Rov about this Inyan, that Rov should tell you how to work out the Inyan of Chashushas Avest about this Nakida. Next thing which I want to...
About the pills, it's not any other method of birth control?
The what?
Any other method of birth control, like an IUD, etc.
All of things, you have to be machzik, it works. Yeah, all of them has to be a chazokah, that it works. That means by IUD has to be 3 months, which you see that it, as garbet. But again, I don't want to go into it because this is a little bit complicated, and I want to stick to the poshita basic haluchas which people has to know in their daily lives. Okay, let's go a little bit into the ksumim. We mentioned last week that basically ksumim is when a lady sees some kind of blood on her begodim, on her clothing. The same thing will be if she sees it on her body. If she sees it on her body, is also in a case, but then has a bit andere halachas. Then we have a chashash. Maybe it comes from her. Maybe it comes from somewhere else. It's a chashash. Maybe from her. Maybe from somewhere else. So now we try to be metoila in a couple of things. The first thing we think: how big is it? How big is this piece of blood? If it's puches meke gris. Gris is a kind of bean. If it's puches meke gris, so then we say, then you don't have to be choishish. Why? Because once upon a time, there was a lot of bugs in the house. People used to live with all kind of flies, bugs. Treis de Baruch Hashem, it came back, bed bugs, all these kind of things. So it happens to be, she was in bed, and she was sleeping, and there was a bug on her, and she squeezed it, and blood came out, and nothing to do with her. So Chazal say, whenever it's less than kegris, then I assume it comes from a fly, a bug, a lice, a mosquito, whatever it should be. That's because a gris, all these insects does not have blood more than a gris, which I'm going to come in a minute what a gris is. And since it's less than that this gris, you could say that it probably comes from an insect, and we don't have to be choishish on it comes from that lady. If it's more than a gris, if it's much bigger than a gris, then still not vade as it comes from her. Then you have to look. Did she do something with blood? Did she buy A and B fish and they didn't clean the blood and she has to clean the blood? So maybe she had some kind of connection with blood. Or did she have did she do some kind of crayons or magic markers or whatever it should be, which we know she went in the Shuk Machne Yehuda, and there was a butcher store over there, and some kind of blood came onto her. So whenever, if it's more than a gris, we have to start thinking, how could it be that it's not from an insect, so from where does it come? So if we have anything, how we could throw it go on that she cleaned chicken, she cleaned fish, all those kind of things, or maybe one of the children had something which is a boo-boo, and there was blood on it. So therefore, we could say that it comes from that. If we don't have any way how to say it comes from, not from chicken or a makkah, or it's bigger than a gris, then she is tuma midrabonon, aber a tuma vada. It's not a tuma mesufik. We have to make it clear. She's tuma vada. Chazal say, if you don't have a water toilet, then we say that she's tuma vada. Now, what is the shear of gris? It's good to know it, because whenever you have on a underwear, your wife shows you that she had some kind of blood on the underwear, and you see it's red. If it's tinier than a gris, you don't even have to ask the Rav, because it's less than a gris, and it's fine. What is a gris? So this we have a big machloikas achroinim. Most of the achroinim go that it is about 90 millimeters. So that's about as big as a dime. As big as a dime. If it's less than a dime, it's fine. The Alter Rebbe over here is machmer. The Alter Rebbe says, in the Maril writes that Alter Rebbe took all kind of cheshboinus, and he came, it's a little bit less. It's not 19 to 20 millimeters. It is 70 millimeters. And the Maril writes that the Alter Rebbe always used to have on his pocket a Russian coin which is less than a dime. And this is how he checks how big it is. I, Baruch Hashem, wanted also to have such a matbaya, so I got a matbaya also from Russia. This is a gris. It is less than a dime. It's not like a dime. A dime is bigger than this. According to all the poskim, we go according to a dime. In Slabavich Chassidim, if you take the kilos of the Alter Rebbe, you take the chimus of the Alter Rebbe. So the Alter Rebbe says, has to be as big as such a Russian coin, which is a tiny drop less than a dime. Diameter is 17 millimeters. Now, if it's less than that, whenever you see such a thing, even though it's red, you don't even ask a shaila. But again, has to be sure it's less than that kegris.
All of it combined also.
What?
There's multiple spots.
We're going to get to it in a minute. So that's the inyan of a kegris. If it's less than 17 millimeters,
Even underwear that's very close to the body.
even an underwear which is very close to the body, also. Exactly. Even, what? Even in like Nachman says, even in the Zayin Nikiyim, even in the Shiva Nikiyim, whenever it is less than the shear, it is mutter. Why? Because Chazal say these words. If I will aser, it's a rabbonon. Everything, if she doesn't have a gosh, it's not a rabbonon. So the rabbonon, Chazal say, if I'm going to aser less than a gris, which people live with all kind of insects, lo yenachtu bas Yisrael shezazan tur. All the women will be toma, because there was always constantly all kind of flies and bugs, and they used to sleep with it and live with it. And if you're going to be aser less than a gris, then you have no choice. So therefore, no, we're not talking about dike, I'm not talking about kenuach. We're talking about she found something on her dress, on her underwear, on her goof. We're talking what? Sheet. Anything and everything. That's what we're talking about. If you make a keniach or you make a bedika, that has no shaykhs with it. Then it's a tiny drop, even like a chardla, as we mentioned last week. It's aser. We're talking about you found something and you check it out. You see it's very tiny. Sometimes you have tiny drops. Then you could be toilet, but only when it is red. If it's not red, avadagit. But even when it's red, if it's black, if it's a black dark spot, because black is also tama, you cannot be toilet on insects because insects' blood do not turn black. So if it's really black, then you have to ask her off. Why?
Even if it's smaller than a grist?
Even if it's smaller than a grease. Because you cannot be toilet on a grease. Because then you're going to ask her off. The Rav is going to tell you sometimes, and more than sometimes, he's going to show you that it's not even blood b'chalal. So, if it's black, black, black. If it's not black, if it's red, and if it's tinier than 17 millimeters, then you could be toilet on a grease. You don't have to ask. If it's more than that, you may sure ask. Now, one more thing. If it's very thick, sometimes you can have like a real thick, it's less than a grease, but it's real thick, then show it also for a rav, because some posts can say you have to make the calculations. If this would have been spread on the whole underwear, it might be more. So such a thing you have to show for a rav.
Does it
But
matter what color it is, the clothing? The clothing.
the what?
The beggar is a different color.
We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Now we're talking about when it's a white, everything is normal. In Shiva Nikiyim, she found that stain. That's the halacha. Now, you brought off, what? Oh, what is on the guf? I wanted to comment later, but okay, we'll go to it now. On the guf, we have a große machloek sapaskam, kesem al gifa. The Alter Rebbe did not machriya on this shaila. The Alter Rebbe did not, he brings down both tzedodem, but al guf could be more lechumra, etnish machri gewein, farkash pulls lechimra. I would suggest when you have the shaila, come to Harav, ask, because we have a lot of tzedudem which you could be mitzaref sometimes. So when you have a kesem al gufoy, then you should ask the Rav. Now you cannot bring the lady to the Rav. So that's why you're gonna take a paper and you're gonna make a drawing how big it is. If it's no different if it's long, if it's wrong. All this gris, even if it's this way, it's not necessarily round. It's still, if it's less than, if you make it, if you have a line, if you make it round, it's still going to be less than a gris. That will be fine. So whenever you have this shaila on the gifoy, then you make a drawing, how big it is, how it looks, and at least that piece of paper bring to the Rav if it's, and the Rav cannot tell you if it's red or not, because he doesn't see the bedika. But now, as the shear, you could bring it, and we can, some ways that you could be able to be Michael. The only thing which is different than al-gifa, which you could be lenient, is on the hand. Since the hand is yadayim mashmashim, the hand usually goes around, and usually the hand taps all kind of things. But the hand of Michael, it has a din azoivi kesem al begedeyu. Yadayim has the same halacha as kesem al megedayu on begedeyu, on the underwear or whatever on the clothing, except if she she touched over there that area, she didn't wash her hands, then it goes back to the chimra of al-gifa. So that answers your question. Makes it, again, if it's al-begudem, less than a gris is okay. If it's al-begifoy, ask her off because it's not clear, the Alter Rebbe shit on it. Some say lechimra, some say lechila, so ask her off. If it's on the hand, and a regular hand, after washing, that means she didn't touch, so then it has to din as if we kesem sha'al bugedeyu, and if it's less than a gris, we were able to be toilet. The what? Oh, tissue? No. You found on a tissue, yeah, but again, I said not a kenuch. I'm not talking a kenuch. So if you make a kenuch, then you're going into different problems. Then you're going into a shala fin abadike. That's much more chumar. I'm talking if you found something, on Begedeyu is only one thing. Let me go back on Begedeyu. If you found it on the underwear, on the clothing, if she found it, for instance, on the outside of the panty, and not on the inside of the panty, so then if sie zazamin oifen, which ich kann toilet on that, she wasn't a time, then she went to the toilet and she slipped it off. And sie can sein, as sie getroppt, amashi blit, on the other side, then will be Michael. But, or for instance, you have on the clothing, you have some kind of clothing which you have blood, but the underwear is clean. So it cannot be that the underwear should be clean and basically the nightgown should be not clean. So therefore, is alle die meine Sachen spielt man sich herim when it comes to halakhas, because the nightgown is a little bit complicated because at night people turn and twist. But for instance, she wears a dress or a model's coat or whatever it should be, and she had over there a stain, and she did not play around with any blood, and van andere zaad, the underwear are clean, so therefore you could be able to be Michael on it. That's when he found it on a white beged, and it's makabel tima. Chazal say there's two more things. In order a kesen should be tuma, has to be, you have to find it on a thing which is eine makabel tima. Duver ha-makabel tima. Has to be a duver ha-makabel tima. Number one. Second one, it cannot be on a colored thing. If it's colored, hab ich nicht geuser gewein auf ksumim, and that's even when it's bigger than a gris. That means, even though if you found a thing which is bigger than a gris, since it's colored, or it's eine makabel tima, you could get away with it. What color? Any color, as long as it's not white. Pink, any color, even it's light color, as long as it doesn't have white in it. If it has white in it, you have a problem. If it's colored, even if it's a light color, it goes into the category of a beged shebeged sevuya, and it's nish makabel ksumim. The same will be if you take anything which is nish makabel tima, it's not going to be in ksumim. So now let's stop a minute and talk about what's eine makabel tima. What's eine makabel tima? Anything which is plastic. Plastic clothing, I don't know if there's such a thing today's day. Plastic clothing is not makabel tima. And I'm going to go on the raya. Plastic, I don't know if such a thing, but plastic is makabel tima. But if she sat on a plastic, what is it called? Chair. Is eine plastic nicht makabel tima. Das ist eine von der Klulam. And therefore is es nicht du als eine Sache wie ksumam. Some pads are from plastic. Some pads are from plastic. So therefore, if you have a pad which is plastic and you found a kesem, it's no problem. But you have to make sure, because not all of them. So therefore, only if you know that it's a plastic one, then you could rely on ksumam. If it's not a plastic one, then you have a problem. Number two, cotton. Cotton is not makabel tima. Cotton. You have a cotton ball. If you take a piece of cotton ball, you put it ba'oisamukam, you're afraid maybe something is going to drip or whatever. Cotton, but that's only cotton as it is. If you made cotton chitim and you made begodim on it, that's what makabel tima. Only cotton balls as it is like this. So a cotton beged, it is makabel tima, and it's no good. Nair, paper. Haben wir machlok sachroinem, Sam Sofer halt das ist makabel tima, no die halt is makabel tima. We go according to Sam Sofer. Paper is nicht makabel tima. Again, if you didn't make a baguette. If you make a baguette, if you make a underwear from paper, it's no good. But now tissues is at least nair. So if you found on a tissue, not through a kenich, you found on a tissue, you had tissues on the floor in the toilet, and you give a look and you see basically, oops, I found blood on that tissue. There is no problem because that's eine makabel tima, and therefore it is no problem of ksumam. Kenich, again, kenich as I mentioned last year, goes into the problem of maybe shema'argish v'lavadatai, then you have to ask. And then if you wiped and there is blood, don't throw it away, you bring it to the roof. But if you found it on the floor and you found, what? No. I don't want to go into this. You know, all the complicated things, you have to ask the roof in private. This is a very complicated child. It's a very complicated child, so that's why I don't want to go into it. But when you have this kind of shaila, come discuss it, and you're going to see that there's all kind of serifim how to work if you can. If you can, you can't. Weißt du? The Rabbonim are here to make easier life. Or we can. Sometimes, today's day, Baruch Hashem, I'm going back to not too long ago. 20 years ago, there was such thing as badekas, ladies which were boidik. So you had the badik on the 7th day, and what are you going to do now? It's red, and then tough luck. All the Shiva Nekiim falls away. Baruch Hashem, today's day, you have a badekas. And she can see if he has a marker. And what is if you go to the badekas and she doesn't see anything, and it's the 7th day, 50 minutes before you go to mikveh? Now, if you can't do anything, hurts, but you have to say it's tumah. You know, you're not going to twist the Shulchan Aruch. So what I want to bring out, we asked the Rabbanim, they're here to see where you could be able to Michael. Mataz an Ishel Abale is one of the greatest Sachen that the Melech says on him, that one of the biggest chusim he has, he was Matar Ishel Abale. But again, has to be according to the perimeters of halacha. We are not conservative, we're not reform. We are Orthodox Jews. We're not even modern Orthodox. We are Chreidish Yidden, which you have to go strictly according to halacha. So that's why it's always good to ask the Rav, because the Rav has all kinds of gelernt. He knows where he could try to go if he can. If he can't, he can't. So that's a question which you have to ask a Rav. But when you find a piece of on a toilet paper on the floor or whatever it should be, I'm giving you all the scenarios, then you have no problem. And the same will be nylon and santeti. Nylon and santeti is not makabel tima, only if you did not make a baguette. If you made a baguette, basically it is makabel tima. So basically, if you have a nylon, which is basically an underwear, you don't have any lenient about that, because
every baguette is makabel tima,
except of plastic. Plastic.
If you cut plastic, it's a baguette, it's not makabel tima.
No, make a plastic. If maybe in 2019 some kind of baguette will be from plastic, then you have the only way how you can get.
And pads are the baguette.
Pads is some are from plastic, some are not from plastic. So therefore, it's probably today's day. Synthetic would be a problem.
Would be?
Yeah.
Why? It's not a baguette, it's a pad.
Of course it's a baguette. What is it?
Pad.
A pad is a pad. What, you know. Akapunam. So that's why pads we have to make sure to look what we have. Sometimes years ago, 90% were from plastic. Today's day, I don't know. I'm afraid today's day it changed and became other materials, but we have to look around. That is what it is. Oh, now when it comes to black ones, we're going to first go one more halacha, which is beged tzvi, as I started before, and then we're going to come to the Indian of the black pads. One more thing I want to say, that the toilet bowl is also nishma kabel timeh b'ksmechibel karka. The toilet bowl. So therefore, if you find a drop of blood, a tiny drop of blood on the toilet bowl, or even on the water, or even on the tzoya, then if it's, kann man sich auch dann einzugeben als a kesem. Als the hilchas a kesem kann man sich einzugeben. Sometimes you look in and you see on the water a tiny drop of blood. Kemiven, it's nicht kein vest, as I mentioned before, if it's a lot of blood, that's a vest. If you have a tiny drop of blood, kann man sich auch dann einzugeben als eine makabel timmer. My Branzefer it doesn't hold like that. He holds that the water is makabel timmer, aber es ist the achroinim nemen puperuf, which fights with him very hard. As eine makabel timmer. The what? Es geht nicht mit Aschbe, es hat sich mit Mechibel Karke, es ist ein tiefer Stigje. What? A portable toilet? Then you don't have this thing, exactly. Portable toilets, then something else, yeah.
Sometimes in the water it's a kinuach, and you put it in the water. So you have to be careful.
Yeah, so if it's a kanuch again, once you coming into a kanuch, that means you touched with a tissue. But oysa mukam has all other halachas. We are talking kesem. Kesem means I don't know from where and when it comes. What? The what? I can hear you.
Toilet is a dirty place to begin with.
No.
It's not a clean place. It has all kinds of, it's like kinuch, many kinuchos in the back.
You were last. Go home and tell me. Look at the toilet and see. You're going to see blood in the toilet.
But it's dirty.
Dirty is not blood.
Oh, it's dirty.
Blood is not dot. Blood is not dot. You know. You know. Okay. The last thing which I said is beged tzavua. Beged tzavua means a colored underwear. Now again, as I mentioned, any color, if it's not white, it is called beged tzavua, and you find on a beged tzavua, then there's no ksomim. What is if you have a striped underwear? White, red, pink, white, blue, pink, white, blue. You know, you have white and other colors, or white and red, blue, whatever. If you have a gris on the white part, then you have a problem. If it's less than a gris, then it's tuar matzat because it's less than a gris. If it's bigger than a gris, but only because it goes into the colored one, you don't consider that. You only check the piece which is white. Only the piece which is white. Now sometimes you have white, red, white, yeah, and you have one big stain, and it's on the white and on the white, and you have the red in the middle. So again, if you have this kind of question, then you have to show it for the Rav. If it's on the red one, and it's only a gris together with the white, red and white together, then basically it's less than a gris because you only calculate the white. But if you have it on one bdike, one stain goes on two whites, so then you have to ask Arov because it's if it's mafsik or if it's not mafsik. So you're going to ask Arov what it is. So therefore, since we just said that if a person has a colored underwear, she has no problem of ksomim, or if it's einem kabaltima, zung chazal, that a lady which has problems of ksomim, which a lot of ladies today they have no problem to putting on colored underwear, and they should put on colored underwear. Today's day, I would suggest all the ladies should wear colored underwear. Except Shivanikim. Shivanikim, she has to wear white. If she has really problems, Shivanikim, again, you have to call Yurov. We'll see what we do then. But regular, and if it's not real Shas Adchak, you have to wear Shivanikim white. But if it's not Shivanikim, you should wear colored, even the Yom HaVest. Even the Yom HaVest. Yom HaVest steht in ergens nicht der Poskem, as you have to wear white. Sie du, wie sie sagen, Chucham einen Veroisha, sie gedeiht in Huben white. Ich habe gesehen, ein bisschen Karelles mit der anderen Poskem, aber der Shichanur steht nicht zusammen Sach. Der friedige Poskem steht nicht zusammen Sach. So, there's no Indian to put on white on Yom HaVest, aber Shivanikim ja. So that's the easiest and simple solution. But you have to remember one thing. So now, what are you going to do? A lady wants to shouldn't have any problems of ksumim. So a lot of people wear black pads. Black pads. Amachaya. It's black. You don't see anything. The only problem is, when you do see a vest, you don't see it. Because it's black. So sometimes ladies have a vest in Zadaraisa, and the pad is full of blood. You don't see it. And as Chatuni Ani Masker, I myself opened up more than one pad. And inside was blood. Because inside is white. Don't forget, all the black pads, inside, if you open it up, the cushion inside, it's white. You open it up, you can see Rahman al-Islam, it's red. So therefore, whenever is the time that the lady has to get her period, don't use black pads. Regularly, you can use a black pad. I don't know why a lady should wear a pad regularly if it's not the time when she has to see. But when the time when she has to see, she could wear a black panty, but she should not wear black pads. Black pads should not be in your home b'chlal, basically. Because if you're afraid, basically, that of ksumam, you have a black underwear, that should be fine, black or red or whatever it should be. The problem of black pads is you forget to change it when it comes the time when you have to get a period. Sometimes she has the period and nobody knows about it. So again, let's sum up what we had till now. Nachamon? But maybe she saw already. Maybe she saw. She saw. You have to understand one thing. You have to understand one thing. A lady had a kesem. Yoisem kigris on a white, whatever it should be. If she went right after she found it, she made a bedika and she's clean, doesn't help you. Doesn't help you. She saw before in a minute, and now she didn't see. Now she's clean. So what are you going to say? That the black pad, make a bedika. Okay, I made a bedika. So now she's clean. 50 minutes ago she had a period. And we don't take that since a period takes 5 days. We don't do that. The color on the way you can see if it's a period. You can see if it's a stain, if it's a period. Whenever you're going to have a color underwear and you see a lot of blood, then that's a period. Even a black underwear, you see. No, a pad, no. Pad takes the blood and soaks it inside, and you cut it up, you're going to see what's going on. But a black pad, a black underwear, if she gets the period, she's going to feel it. Don't worry. So therefore, you have to have, again, you have to have a chucham ein of baroisha. That's the klal in Hilchos Neder, the chucham ein of baroisha. That you have to, whenever sikaz an achshash, are you going into problems, stay away from it. So let me just sum it up what we had today's day. Whenever it comes to Yom HaChashash Vest, you have to make a bedika. You have to make a bedika ba'oisa oina. If it's a Yom HaVest, fin a Chashash Vest, Yom HaChodesh, or a Fluga, you make it the day after the time is held last time. If it was the middle of the night, so you make it before you go to sleep. Preferable if once you wake up, you do it again. If it's oina bainanis, you have to make it the end of the day. Preferable it should be in the lady's body for 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes if it's possible. You can put in lubrication on it, and that would solve all the problems. If it happens that she cannot do it, or basically she's not home when she has to make the bedika, then she could do it right after the shkia. That will be fine. If if it went over that day and she wasn't boidik, if it's a vest, chashash yom vest, or the chashash a fluga, make it a din. You don't have to do anything. Preferable you should do make a bedika. If it's a chashash or in a bainus, you have to make a bedika. She's aser if she did not make a bedika. When it comes that day, you have to be poirish from your wife, and also chibig v'nishik, stay away. That was the inyan of chashash vest. The inyan of ksomim, as yeah.
Okay, the 24-hour one where you're supposed to do a right at shkia for the 4 or 5 minutes. If she's not going to be able to, you're saying
do it right after the shkia.
Do one also in the morning or like earlier? Like you do both, or you just do the one?
I don't see what is going to happen. It's only because it could be make sense to make in the morning, because some poskim say that you have to make in the morning. As I mentioned before, some poskim say all the oinas you have to make in the beginning and the end. And some poskim say that oina bainas also go towards the half a day to the oina. So if you can make it in the morning, but it's not necessarily. Let's make it clear. It's not necessarily. Make it afterwards, and that will be fine. Yeah.
What happens if you change clock changes from 1 month to the next? Do you move the vestis over the whole day? I mean, shkia was at 4, the next day, next month it's
very good question. Very good question. The answer is, if last time she saw 4 o'clock, and 4 o'clock was by day, in next month or the next time she saw 4 o'clock is already after the shkia, then you don't make it 4 o'clock, you make it the end of the day. Very good question. Before the shkia. Yeah, you brought up a very nice question. That was the inyan of chashash vest. Now we came to the inyan of ksumim. Again, what is a kesem? A kesem means if a lady found something on her body, which I said ask her off when it comes to the body, or on her clothing. If it's less than 70 millimeters, then even if it's red, then you could be toilet on an insect. If it's black, real black means black, then you have a problem. Go ask her off. If it's bigger than a grease, check around if you checked, you did something about it. Check around if something happens. If you tampered with some kind of blood, then you could be toilet. If not, again, ask her off. Let him be machat then what goes on. And that's only if it's more than 70 millimeters, which is a little less than a dime, a little bit less than a dime. Why do I say it? Because if you make the calculation and you see it is as big as a dime, you know you have to ask her off, because that's already more than the shear. If it's on a beged tzavua, any color but white, it's not makabel ksoma, even it's more than a gris, and you could be toilet. You don't have to be toilet. It's nicht makabel ksomim, and therefore, if you go with colored underwear, that's the preference, the thing you should do, because then you're staying away from a lot of problems. In today's day, there's a lot of ksomim, so therefore, that's the best thing to do. But when it comes shivanikim, there's no option to wear beged tzivia. Only if you have sometimes a rov will be matter in some strange cases, shasat chak. Or if you found a kesem on a zak which is not makabel tima, you found on the floor, on the tile in the bathroom. This has happened a lot of things, a lot of times. You feel on the floor, on the tile, you see blood. Yeah, and she was without underwear. But since it is eine makabel tima, you don't have to be choishish, and it's fine. One very vital information which I want to tell you. Whenever you find the kesem, you have to bring it to the Rav, do not make a bedika. Some ladies, first thing they're going to do, they're going to make a bedika to make sure, oh, I'm clean. It doesn't help. Because as I mentioned before, if you could see 5 minutes before earlier, and 5 minutes afterwards, you're not going to see. That doesn't help. It only makes worse, because if you are going to find something on the bedika, all the killers which a Rav could do with a kesem, he cannot do with a bedika. So therefore, don't do a bedika if you find something. Call up the Rav, ask him what to do, and he's going to tell you what to do. One final thing, whenever you find the kesem, and you are tumah, she's tumah. If it's bigger than the shear, you never want to be toila, it's not beged tzevua, whatever it should be, it has nothing to do with kviyas vest. Nothing to do with kviyas vest. And even if it happens every month, ches lechodesh, ches taivas, ches shvat, ches uder, ches nissen, every time ches uder at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, she sees a tiny drop of blood. It's still a kesem, and if it's less than a gris, we could deal with it. If it's more than a gris, and the Rav says your tumah, has nothing to do with kviyas vest. There's no kviyas vest. You don't have to be choishish next month again. You saw it 5 times ches. You don't have to be choishish next time ches, only when it happens. So that's the nikida.
You have to be ready before 4 o'clock, because you know it's going to come.
To what?
Why don't we say that you have to do a bedika at 4 o'clock, because you know it's going to happen. You already have chazak in that. The sense of the...
Ein vest b'shem kviyas vest. Die das the B'mayli, you have to, in any case, you have to be boidig at 4, as every time. No, you don't have to be choishish. Exactly. You don't have to be choishish. That means, there's no chsash vest. Because a kesem means, it's geschehen. I see geschehen, it can happen, coincident, 5 times, 8 times, 100 times too. Yeah? Gerecht. Man darf nicht choishish on next time. Correct.
What's the process? Let's say the Rav says the kesem is tummy. What's the process now to become Torah?
5 days, in 7. The same as a regular period. 5 and 7. No difference. 5, 7 bedikas, you go to tefillah, you make a bracha on it. Everything the same. The only thing is, next chodesh you don't have to make a cheshbon on it. Ches, you take over the calendar. If it wasn't a period, just a kesem. Nothing. No chshash vest. Anything which has to do with chshash vest, no, or in a binary, no, nothing. Kesem, einbar, kesem, chshash vest, even it happens, and it can happen. Why do I stress it? Because it happened. I had the shaila more than once. Some kind of situations which, it can happen. Ladies should get ksumim on the same day, even on the same time, since it goes into the gather of ksumim. Therefore, I'm bo mishim vest. She might be tumah with all the halachas, but I'm bo mishim vest.